Camp talk. Take one.
Take one.
All right, so
Hold on. How the are you gonna start talking when I'm controlling this interview?
and keep it like this, Ron. Okay, keep this running.
Hold on. No,
I was gonna say,
hold on.
all
on,
right.
Let me do the intro.
So Jamal decided to sit my ass down when we had a long day.
That you're the cheapest guy I've ever met.
True that.
And
I don't have a watch, so you know.
let's talk about emotional damage.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about emotional damage.
All right, you guys. I guess we have what you think it is at this point. All right, guys, we're here with Reda. If you guys don't know, Reda's my business partner. He's the co-founder of EDM Lead Network. He's one of the best guys. He's my brother, and he's somebody that I think everybody in this world needs to know. So thank you for being with me, Reda.
Yes, I agree with what he said. Yes, we did it. Okay. I'm sorry, what was that? No, I appreciate you. Same thing goes to Jamal. I mean, I told him many times before, you know, and we don't want to have the evil eye, but having him in my life is big, man. Like, it changed everything, man. Like, it really does, you know. I'm very lucky. My mom, who passed away, loves him. My family loves him. My wife loves him. My son loves him. Everybody loves him. So I appreciate you, Daddy. Yo.
And the one thing that I really wanted us to take away from this trip, Reda, was the ability to disconnect, reflect, and be able to discuss some of those things that sometimes on a day-to-day basis we don't have time to talk about. You know, when you think about like time and everything that we've been going through together, you know, especially over the long time that we've been working together, do you feel like we've ever had a moment like this to kind of connect and disconnect at the same time?
Not like this. I mean, we traveled the world together, and for the last 16 years, we've been in every convention, and we did a lot. We did everything together, but it was connected to work, related to work. And of course, we go to conventions and so on. We still have a good time together, but not like this. This is like, this is the first time in maybe, I don't know, 20 years that I haven't turned on my laptop. And that for me was weird. And that shows that this disconnecting taught me two things, right? One, you can really take time and disconnect and just relax. Don't think much. And then two, it really taught me that we have a great system in place in our company where the company can run even then when we're not there. You know, this system is working. I mean, God is great. We have the right people, great employees, and the company still hits the same number and grows. And so that's big. That's very big for us, because we don't have to be there. Like, we don't have to be there and run the day-to-day operations. The system runs the whole operations, and for us, that's a big plus.
Now, Reda, when you think about, like, I don't know, I've been reflecting a little bit on our journey while we've been here. And when you think about everything from the start to what we're doing and where we're at today, what do you feel like has been the most pivotal moment that we've had together that's really kind of allowed us to build the bond that we have together?
I don't think there was like one thing or one moment. I think that we're just good people. You know, I think that, you know, you have a very good heart. You have no ego. You are really, really unselfish. And you want what's best for me. And for me, it's the same thing. You know, we don't look at this business as it's our business. We are equal 50-50. You know, we make $1 million, we gotta share right in the center. Or, hey, let me look at your expense report and look at mine. We just love each other so much, and we cared about each other so much, and we counted on each other so much that we just enjoy the ride. Wherever it comes, we just enjoy the ride. So I wouldn't say it was a pivotal moment. I think we believed in each other so much that we knew that we won't let each other down. We just won't. It's not an option. And that really helped us get where we are today.
But I do believe, like, when we first got started, Reda, it was interesting because it's like, I feel like you had more of a reputation. Your sales team was bigger than mine when we first got together. But you saw something. Like, what was it that you initially saw when we first, like, interacted with each other that made you say, hey, I believe in this guy? Or, you know, I need to figure out how to make this make sense. Was there anything specifically?
Yeah, and for, you know, with respect to that sense and that moment, when you came and started talking to me, and that was, you know, almost 16 years ago, the way, the confidence that you had, you know, I mean, you looked very sharp, nicely dressed, just the confidence that you had, like, you weren't afraid to hurt my feelings. You know, you believed in yourself, and you believed that you can make a change. And you just came out and said, hey, I know you write a lot of business, but I'm more profitable than you. You know, I'm like, either this guy is crazy or he's very, very bright. And the way you presented yourself, I leaned into, this guy is not crazy. This guy is very, very smart. And it's just, you know, sometimes you can see people, right, and you can feel them. You can feel their spirit. You just can like someone. You can just like trust someone. And it's the opposite. You can just look at someone and it just, their angels are heavy. Like, you can just get along. You can connect. You can line up. And I truly believe that, I always believe that if somebody comes my way, God sent them, you know. And what I believe at that moment is that this guy is very, very smart. He's smart. If he's making more money than I am, and I have a much bigger agency, he's smart, and I need to listen to him. And I'm glad I did. You know, it's just your charisma, the word you were using, you know, the way you were carrying yourself, the way you were, you know, well-spoken, well-behaved. I'm like, this guy is smart. Like, all right, so show me how to do this. And you did. And 16 years later, here we are, you know. So you just spoke the right words to the right person at the right moment. And I'm blown. I would never be here today without you, period.
Vice versa. And I'll tell you, Reda, it's kind of interesting because it's like, when I think about really my career in business, it's like, you were the first person to really entrust everything in me. And, you know, it's kind of funny because people don't understand, like, when we say we're going to be somewhere, we're there. And that's a real thing. And you told me after we did our first initial test, we ran some budgets, you said, I'm coming, and we're going to be partners forever. And you came, and we've been partners since then.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, that means a lot to me. And I think people out there, a lot of people are looking for a good business partner. And they're trying to find, like, who's going to be that person that's going to be able to help them get to where they want to be ultimately. Some people are comfortable working by themselves. Some people aren't working comfortable by themselves. Had you always felt that you were someone that were more comfortable working with somebody, or did you envision yourself being an independent operator?
I have always been independent all my life. I mean, I came to this country very young, and I counted in God's will and my hard work. And I never trusted anyone. I just didn't trust people. You know, I work hard, I save my money, I do the right thing. And I never enabled myself to put my business or my money or my decisions with anybody else. It's just I didn't. It was all me. If I won, it was me. If I lost, it was me. And that has been all my life. But I honestly believe that God sees people's hearts and they send them people that can make them better. And that's how I feel. Because back then, I was street smart, right? So I didn't know how to put systems together and so on. And I was just hustling and making money. And then, you were doing the same thing, but you weren't hustling because you knew you were smart enough to put systems together and processes and freaking documentation. And, you were doing it the right way. And I was doing it the hard way. And then once I trusted you and I just felt great, with you, and you start putting systems together and everything, that's what everything changed. How many companies right now would say they are in the pay-per-call industry where they have their own routing software, their own dialer software, their own CRM, their own distribution, everything right now is SaaS. As EDM is a SaaS company, but we were just two guys trying to sell leads. We came very, very far. And I honestly believe that you've had a big part in putting all these systems and processes and working with the tech team and everything. So, and I was lucky, to be honest with you. God is great. I don't think you can just pick a guy and be like this. You just don't. I've had a lot of people say I've never seen two people like you and Jamal. I'm like, we don't have an agreement. We don't have a contract. We shook hands 16 years ago and that's all we have. And every company that we have, 7 companies, we are 50-50 on them with no handshake, nothing. Because we know if something happened to one of us, that family will be taken care of forever. And that is not a doubt. So I've been very lucky. As God is my witness in this late night, I've been very lucky. So
now when you talk about your lifelong trust issues, Reda, that's something that I feel like a lot of people can relate with, past trauma or getting fucked over or not being able to really open themselves to be able to receive that blessing from God whenever that person may come into their life. What are some of those characteristics specifically that you look for or that you saw or analyzed or assessed that allowed you to be able to determine hey, this could be a good partnership?
You never cared about money. You never talked about money. You never talked about your share of money. Money for you wasn't the number one stepping stone of this business and something that can be clarified between us. You never gave a fuck about money. Same thing with me. I grew up very poor. That trust or that feeling that I had, he's not looking at the numbers and money and who makes what and how we share. We just work. You were like me. We just wanted to be successful. And from the beginning, you made me feel like you wanted me to be happy. You got me shit that I didn't even know I needed. You send it to me to the house. I'm like, Jamal, what the fuck? Dude, you send me a trampoline which is 50 feet wide. It doesn't even fit in my neighborhood. Why? Because you want my son to play with it. It's you send trips and, it's hey, you guys are leaving next week on a freaking cruise and boom, going to Bahamas. Dude, people don't do that, right? And it's not hey, I sent you to the cruise, let me send myself to the cruise. It has never been like that. I think when I really opened up and just let it go, when I knew that you are not looking for the money, you just want us to be successful. And I was the same thing. And that's what makes successful, because people are assholes. How many people broke their relationship for money? That's what fucked all the businesses, right? My money, my piece, your piece, my contract, your 50%, my 50%. Get the fuck out of here. We have never had that, and God is great. And I hope that we won't have evil eye, to cause problems between us. But money, we never talked about money. We never talked about my share, your share, my part, your part. I don't even look at my bank account. You don't look at your bank account. You don't know who gets paid where. We just want to work. We are happy because why we trust each other. So the biggest feeling that you gave me when I was all in, like I didn't give a shit, when you made me feel like you weren't in it for the money. You were in it for my success and your success and our family's success. And I'm glad I did because, you know, we say alhamdulillah, you know, God is great. You know, I don't want to have any evil eyes, whomever is watching, you know. Bro, I worry about that shit, bro. These motherfuckers might gonna say, oh my God, you're so great. And, you know, hey, evil eye. Like, you know, every fucking thing. Hey, Jamal, I believe on that shit. So I'm like, woo, especially, I'm right in South Dakota, right? Humbare, Goboba, evil eye, motherfuckers. So that's when I was all in. And alhamdulillah, look at us, bro. Look, we are very successful. God is great, you know. But yeah, I'm glad I did. No, you're very smart, Jamal, and we can do a lot more things together, God willing.
And here's one thing that, you know, I really fell in love with, Reda, especially working with you, and what for me made me see this as something that can be a lifelong relationship. You know, there's very few people that you can make money with and they don't change, and there's even fewer people that you can lose and not have money with and they don't change. All right. And I feel like we've had all of our ups and downs along our journey, and you have always stayed the same person. And we were laughing about this the other night when we were telling this story. When my water got cut off, I called you, I let you know, and you know, first thing you did was start laughing.
Your water got shut off? Oh, you broke ass motherfucker. And I'm laughing because I'm like, shit, I'm 6 months behind on my fucking rent. I'm like, motherfucker, like, at least I still have water. I swear to God, we put all of our money and somebody screwed us up and we were fucking broke. So this guy calls me, he's like, yeah, bro, you know, because we do this, right? You know, once again for the evil eye, you know. Hey, I'm just saying, bro, God has been great to us, but fuck you, evil eye, you know. So, you know, we call each other when good news or bad news, we always call each other first. When my mom died, he was the first human being I called. I mean, you know. So he calls me, he's like, yo, bro. I'm like, are you all right? Bro, like, man, like, when it's bad, it's bad. I'm like, what is it, bro? They just shut off my water. They shut off what? They shut off my water. You broke ass motherfucker. You have no water at home.
Yo, you guys, you have no idea. Like, in that moment, it was like, is this motherfucker laughing? But it was also like, it was a giggle moment for me too, where it's like, we're gonna figure this out.
But we knew, right? The reason we were laughing, right? Because we knew it's not gonna stay like that. We always believed we're gonna end up on top. Yeah. And this is not like the only time, you know, when we had like 12 call centers doing, you know, insurance, Medicare and ACA, whatever, right? And then, you know, one company went belly, right? And we were like $5 or $6 million in a hole. And that was bad, like it was really bad.
Yeah, way worse than getting the water cut.
Yeah, I wish they cut my water by that.
If that's all I had to deal with, that'd be okay.
Yeah, I wish they kicked us out from my house, or I lived in the streets. But not getting paid that money ruined us. Like ruined us. Like,
yeah. No, it was a step back for.
But we always figure out we're gonna make it work. We will gonna make it work. When I used to be stressed, you know, 45, you know, I'm like 15 years older than him. So I'm older than him, right? So I always give him the word of wisdom. But many times he was giving it back to me because, you know, when you're older, you know, like you just want to get things done straight and everything. And sometimes shit doesn't work out. And I call him and it's like, you know what? Stop bitching, man. Just stop bitching, Just, you're a grown-ass man. Just don't worry about it. Just get it done. Stop bitching. And he always pushed me, like, to be my best. He's like, if he's down, I lift him up. And if I'm down, he lifts me up. Once again, evil eye, motherfuckers, like, we don't want to do anything. But it's very, very hard to find someone who is sometimes better than your brother. Like someone who wants you good, someone who wants you to be successful. I'll give you one story, right? So I was sitting at home and I was in my, I have an old robe that I always wear. It's 1940s or whatever, right? I wear this fucking robe, I like it. And my wife comes and is like, hey, there is a man at the door. Like, there's a man at the door. What does he want? She said, I don't know. And I looked at my wife's face. I'm like, I can read people. I've always done it, right? I'm like, she's hiding something. Like, man at the door. And I thought maybe when he sees my son with flowers or something, whatever. And because that was a little bit past my birthday. And the man at the door. So I'll go and, I'm of this shade. I'm looking out. There's this beautiful guy with a beautiful suit. Talking about the beautiful Italian suit. This guy is Italian, his hair back, he's like doing this. I'm like, what the fuck?
Insert Nico.
Yeah. So do this. I'm like, I open the door. I'm like, can I help you? Hey, Reda, how are you, my friend? My name is Nico. I'm like, the fuck? Okay. Hey, Nico, how you doing? I'm like, can I help you? He says, yeah, I want you to come with me outside. He's Italian, right? I'm like, why would I? And my wife is like, yeah, follow him. I'm like, something is not right here. I'm like, what is it? You come with me, okay? You don't talk it too much. You come with me. Keep your robe, put your shoes, and come with me, and follow me. So I can follow him to my driveway, right? So my house is long, and then there is driveway, and I'm like, okay. I knew something was up. So I walk outside and following him, and my wife is behind me on a freaking phone with this guy. I knew something was up. She's on FaceTime, whatever. And I check on my driveway, and there is a brand new Mercedes. I'm talking about not $100,000 Mercedes. I'm talking about the Mercedes, right? I'm like, oh my God. And I hear him giggle. I'm like, Jamal, like, bro, come on. He said, I know you always wanted this and you deserve it. And I know that you will not get it for yourself because, when you grow up poor, you don't want to spend money. It is what it is. I spend it on people, I spend it, but I just cannot spend it on me. That's my character. And he was right. I would never have gotten that car. It's a fucking very expensive car. But he sent it to me to my house. My business partner. And afterward, I love you. He didn't say, hey, let me see, why don't you send me a car? Or hey, why don't I buy? He didn't give a fuck. He just want to see me happy. And the same thing with him. I just want to see him happy. So that's why, good luck. I mean, God, I swear to God, I pray from the bottom of my heart. And at the same time, 5 eyes on evil eyes, Good luck finding someone that you can love just more than a brother, Good luck with that. And that's the feeling that we have. Because we are two, like Jamal and I have nothing in common. Like, it's like he's over there and I'm over there. Like, if I was younger, I meet him out at the bar, I won't fucking talk to him.
It's so funny, Rita, because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and they were like, our personality should be in like the other's body. Like,
that's very true.
Your personality should be in my body. My personality should be in your body.
That's very, very true.
And it's just like we are so opposite that I do feel like that's what makes it work. One of the greatest superpowers that I witnessed that you have is your ability to communicate and really control an environment. And that's something very hard that I don't think a lot of people really know how to do that. Really control a room, control an environment, communicate with people, and the ability to communicate with anybody. And see you communicate in all these different languages that you speak is probably one of the most, like, it is something that is a little bit mesmerizing still to this day when we go to a new place and you know how to communicate with these people, even if like their native tongue isn't something that you fully like understand. I really I think that's such a beautiful thing that you're able to do. And for me, I find that to be a weak area of myself where I am like I can turn it on and be extroverted, but I prefer to be by myself working. Let's talk about that, Reda, because I do find sometimes like you do try to sugarcoat stuff for people.
That's true.
And make it where it bothers me. Okay,
That's true.
Personally, it bothers me where it's just like, come on, we ain't gotta do that, right? Why? Explain this to me, because I feel like this is something that you shared a lot with our team members in terms of making things tasteful, right? And I feel like you care so much about how people feel, where you don't want to hurt their feelings. And for me, it's like, I feel like I'm doing more damage to you if I'm not honest with you. So, like, from my perspective, it's like, hey, let me just tell you what it is, so that way you know exactly how this looks.
I'm sorry, Jamal, but my boy just called me because he doesn't sleep unless he say, Jed, say hi, people.
Hi, people.
All right, because right now we're on live podcast, you know. So, Jed, how do you feel about the economy?
Hold on. Jed, we love you. Good night, bro. Could we finish this real quick and call you back?
So, this is what I have to say no, because my son goes before anything.
Hold on.
My family goes before. Tell him, Jed, tell him.
Yeah, I go before everything.
Jed, should I hang up on you or finish this business conversation?
Is the business conversation gonna make you money?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you give me a few bucks for it?
Yes. How much do you need?
Like 3 cents.
You want 3 cents?
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Let's make it 2 and call it a deal. I'll give you 2 pennies. Yes, I love you, son.
Love you, Jed.
Bye.
Uncle Jamal said I love you. What do you say?
Bye.
Later, bro.
Bye.
All right, love you, bro. Thanks for calling.
I love you, Uncle Jamal. Bye.
Love you, dog. Later.
Sorry, that was my
Hold
point.
on.
Yes.
We got to talk about this.
Yes.
What just happened?
Yes.
This is something that I've noticed about you in particular, where it doesn't matter what we're doing, what's going on, you will pick up the phone and just talk to people. Like, I do believe in checking on your people, right? If I care about you, I'm gonna call and check in on you, right? I do believe in that. But you take it to another level. Like, you talk to your family every day. FaceTime calls at that, on speaker, like anywhere, any location, it doesn't matter. And you spend so much time and energy just touching base with the people that you love. Like, why is that? Like, I don't understand that, because for someone as productive as you are, there's a lot of shit to do. You got problems to solve. You know, we're dealing with a lot of different complex scenarios. Like, how do you personally find time always to be able to pick up the phone and talk to your family?
You know, family is everything for me, and I wouldn't say find time. It's just use the time, right? If I have to find time, it means I have to say, all right, I'm gonna schedule to call them between 2 and 3. I just, you know, let's say if I'm working a lot and then right away I can call, talk to my family back home, or, you know, talk to somebody whom I needed something. Because I always believe that if somebody calls me, there is a need. So that person thought of me, they grabbed their phone, they dialed my number, right? Or they hit the speed dial, with most of them have me on speed dial, to call me. And that has a lot of value, and I cannot just not pick up. I've been in places where people called me, I picked up and say, hey, can I call you back? I could have sent a text message, can I call you back? I wanted to hear my voice, to acknowledge them. Hey, I'm on a meeting, can I call you back? You know, or if I'm not, I just talk to them. So, I mean, life is so short. You know, money can be gained and lost. The two biggest things that you always have to worry about in life is your health and your family. These are the biggest things. I mean, just look at this. You know, a kid call you, it's 1 a.m. their time, right? He's in Palm Beach. Just call to say, you know, I love you, Dad, I'm going to sleep. I will pick up that call. I will pick up that call no matter where I'm at. I pick up that call. It's not even an option. I don't even have to think about it. And I'm sure that, you know, you'll be blessed very soon with experiencing that, God willing. And then you'll understand. You'll be like, oh yeah, now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Now, at any point, Reda, have you ever thought to yourself, like, because I can't imagine you as a person that really could spend a lot of time alone. Like, does being alone make you uncomfortable at all?
1000%.
You need people around you.
I need people. I need warmth. I need love, right? I need affection. I cannot be alone. I won't survive.
I feel that. Now, at any point, have you noticed, like, that's what drives you to, like, build and be around teams, is the fact that even if you are alone, you don't feel alone because you got other people going through the same stuff that you're going through?
1000%. Just look at I could have been alone, but as soon as I found you, I just jumped, like, because I knew that I needed that. I need someone that can push me, someone that can help me, someone that I can trust. You know, because if I always wanted to be alone, I never trusted people. Yes, I never trusted people. You know, unless we met and we started working. But as far as need, oh yeah, like, you know, I didn't have, you know, I don't have my siblings here. I don't have my parents here who passed away. I don't have brothers and sisters. I needed someone that can comfort me in time of need. That I just want to hear that it's okay. You know, this can be done. Or it's okay, don't worry about it, you know, I can do this for you. And that's when you came, I'm like, that's it. Like, you know, I felt complete, you know, as far as business. But I'm not the kind of person that, I don't like isolation. I just don't do good in isolation. I can function. I need people around me, I need voices around me, I need sounds around me, I need hugs, I need love, you know, I need affection. I need laughter, I need crying, like, I just need that other being, you know, just to feel good about it.
Now, a lot of people don't know, Reda, but your household growing up was 15 people.
In 2 rooms.
And 2 bedrooms. Now, let's go back to that real quick. So, obviously there wasn't a shortage of love in that house. You know? Your mom and dad definitely loved each other, very much so. Now, when you were going through that growing up and, like, kind of experiencing all those different people around you, did you ever find at any point you were competing against your other siblings for, like, attention, and you needed a bigger personality in them in order to get it? Was that something that kind of helped develop this energy and charisma that we see in Reda today?
No, I think I was the devil. When I was a kid, I was a devil. I was like, I wasn't built like my siblings. And the proof is that there I am, you know. I never did good at school over there. They all have bachelor's and master's degree. And, you know, they can see right now where we at and where they were. But I was misplaced, you know, within that community. Like, I didn't belong there. Like, something was missing. So I used to fight a lot. I used to fight with my siblings, and I used to fight, you know, with my brothers and sisters all the time, you know. And, you know, I was just revolting because I just wasn't me. Like, I knew something is missing. I knew that I love my family, which, you know, I loved all my life, but I just didn't belong there. Like, something was missing, like something wasn't right. And, you know, Yeah, I used to fight and stuff like that, but we had a lot of love, man. You know, I had the best parents like any human being can ask for, even in their luckiest day. You know, I had a father who was a hero who was making $20 a month back then, you know, feeding like all of us. And our aunts and uncles used to come and eat, right? It's like, come on, man, like, you know, and growing up, I swear to God, you know, a lot of people know my stories that when I was a kid, I never thought that one human being can eat one apple in one sitting. I never thought that oranges were made, you know, for one person. So I'll give you an example. Like right now, when you buy watermelon is not just for one person, right? It's a household. You buy watermelon, you slice it, right? And everybody eats. So I grew up like having my mom take an apple and slice it in 8 wedges and give us, all of us, one. So growing up, we all have one wedgie. So I believe that that's what apple is made, right, for. And as God is my witness, same thing with oranges. I never thought that one human being can have their one whole orange, because each one of us used to have 4 wedges, right? So even grapes, I swear to God, I always thought that people have like 10 grapes, like it's 10. So I grew up so limited in volume, but so extravagant and so big in value. Like you appreciate that little bit apple, you appreciate that little bit oranges. So I never felt like I was poor, because back then, you know, almost everybody in the neighborhood was living the same lifestyle, right? It's not like you live and you see the guy with the Bentley, right? Like what the hell? No, everybody lived like how we lived, right? But I never felt poor until I started growing up and watching TV and seeing all these American movies and everything, and you'd be like, man, like I want to have that, you know? So I swear to God, I think I was like 9 years old. I told my mom I'm going to America, and they were laughing at me. You don't even know what America is. Plus, you're not even smart enough to go America. If I was there, I would have told myself, you dumbass, you don't belong in America. You know, your brain is harder than a rock. You know, it's like you don't belong to America, right? So everybody was
Don't
doubting
you think
me.
there's something beautiful about that blissful ignorance, Rita, where you don't know what you don't know and you don't know how hard something is?
Yeah.
So when you start to pursue it and the path starts to unveil itself of what it has to be done, you go through those steps because mentally you didn't process every potential variable that you would have to go through that will become a hurdle for you to be able to get started in the first place.
100%. And I use that today. I made like big accounts, and the guy's like, you know, I have a $5 million budget. I said, we can do it. How long? How long would you need? 2 days. We can do it in a day and a half. I don't think of anything. I just say, yeah, we can. And then I called Jamal, yeah, we gotta figure this shit out. He's like, how? I don't care. Like, we have to figure this shit out. So even then I said, I'm going to America. I didn't know how. I didn't even know where America was. But I knew that I was gonna go there. So growing up in a very poor house, it taught me that, you know, warmth. And that's why when he said about, you know, isolation, I mean, I slept with my brother in the same, I wouldn't say bed because we didn't have beds, right? So if you look at, for example, the sheep skins, right? And we put all of them on the ground, and they are thick, you know? So my brother sleeps here, his head is here, his feet is here, my feet are here, my head over there. So we weren't sleeping one next to the other, right? So we were kind of sleeping like this, right? So his head is over there. So I grew up crossing my legs with my brother's legs and sleep. Like that's how the comfort we had. So his head is over there, my head is over here, and our feet, they meet as, you know, 6, 7 years old. Like that love and that warmth, like you're okay. It's, you know, it might be dark and you're okay. And I remember having that feeling of love, huh?
You were wiggling your toes with your brother in the bed at night?
Yes, Jamal. And my brother was 2 years younger than me, and we were like saying each other, we are okay. Like he used to say, I'm scared of the dark. I'm like, I'm scared too, but I'm here, right? Because when you're like 6, 7 years old, right? It's dark and you have nothing, right? You'll be worried. But if your brother's feet are touching your feet and saying, I'm here, don't be afraid. So that's kind of gave me that comfort. You know, so that's why, you know, being with people and, you know, I always hug. You know, like if you see many conventions or everybody who sees me hugs me. I'm always big in hugging and, you know.
I've noticed that, Rita, where it's just like, just because I feel like of how you grew up, where 2 bedrooms, 15 people, like
2 rooms.
2 bedrooms, 15 people. Like even when we have big groups, you're like, yo, we'll figure it out. Like, there's no way we can't figure it out with whatever we have. Like your mentality is like, it's not as bad as what I had. So.
No, we fit. Yeah, like we rent this, you know, big houses in Vegas that can fit like 15 people, and you'd be like, hey, we're gonna have 25 people. No problem. You know, 4 people in this couch, 3 people on the ground here, 2 people over there. We can have 40 people here. If this was back then, my whole city would live there. That house will become like a city. It's like, which is very true, right? It just makes you appreciate what you have, and that's what, you know, helped us a lot, you and I, because we really appreciate what we have, and we don't have any egos, you know, or, you know, we don't feel like we are better than people, and, you know, and you never made me feel like, you know, money is going to change you or change me. But yeah, growing up poor taught me a lot about, you know, like moving forward and get shit done. And then in the same time, it taught me like how to be tight with my money. You know, it's like I'm not just gonna go out and just waste money left and right. You know, that's why we always invest in real estate. And
what's the number one money lesson that you feel like you learned?
Money lesson is that people who say that money don't bring you happiness, they lie to you. You know, let's do a little bit of, you know, evil shit, you know, because we want to make sure. The one thing that I learned is that money gives me a lot of power to help the powerless. You know, money really can make weak people stronger. You know, hungry people fed. I think that lazy people who don't have money are weak. And I think that when people make millions of dollars and then they can travel to Africa, spend $50,000 or $100,000 in changing people's lives, you know, either a water pump or small room or small house, clothing for their kids, you know, over there, 100 grand is a lot of money, and you can do so much with it. So I would say the first lesson that money taught me is that make a lot of it and change a lot of lives and touch a lot of people that just can do it on their own.
I say this jokingly all the time, Rita, that you're the cheapest guy I've ever met.
True that.
And
I don't have a watch.
To date. But it's kind of like, I have noticed you are willing to spend money on the right things, you know, especially when we're investing and doing things like that. You don't like wasting money. And some things you see as a waste of money. Like, what is your thought process between something that's worth spending money on versus something that's not worth spending money on?
If something brings value into my life, I will do it. Real estate will help me make more money, thus helping more people. A nice car is very luxurious, it's very comfortable. You can go from, you know, you can drive far away, you know, you have freaking, you know, massage chair in your car, you know, so you are very comfortable. You know, nice glasses when you go out, like they can make my life a little bit better, right? But without making other people feel bad that they don't have it. You know, I'm not gonna buy a Rolls Royce and drive it, even though you and I can buy one of each tomorrow. We just don't do that. Why? Because I don't want the person driving a Prius next to me feel bad that they don't have it. That's why I have a Prius and I have Mercedes and Porsches and whatever, right? But
you guys
don't talk about my Prius. I love my Prius. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Don't.
Guys, it's the craziest thing in the world. Rita's 6'3", 6'4", big dude, right? Every time he comes to pick me up from the airport, he has the ability to bring the Escalade, he can bring the Benz, he can bring a slew of other cars. He always comes to pick me up in this damn Prius.
Which is beautiful, and it has a great gas mileage.
The AC don't work. Yo, Rita, why do you love this car so much?
When you hit the brakes, I swear to God, you head. It's like the car is
Yeah.
choking when he hit the brakes.
Yeah, really, you got at least like I had 250,000 miles on that thing.
Oh yeah, I would never that she's my baby. You know, I love the Prius. I mean, I remember when we were struggling, and I was an insurance agent, and I had no money, right? So I had to borrow money to buy a car that has good gas mileage, right? Because I used to drive hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles a day. I was worse than Uber driver because I was an insurance agent. So I used to visit 500 homes a day, right? I used to drive a lot. So that Prius was there for me, and never complained, never had issues. I didn't have to fix her. And there I am now, you know, God is great, God bless me with money, I buy all these expensive cars. I am not gonna get rid of her. I think it's that mentality of that appreciation and connection that you have with things.
It's sentimental,
like,
yeah.
It is, like I don't wanna hurt her feelings. She's my baby. So I always like go pick up Jamal, and you know, when he picks me up, he picks up a G-Wagon or like nice cars, right? I go pick him up with a Prius, and he looks at me like I don't want to go in this car. You know, it's like I want to get home safe.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid him. I'm not making eye contact. He's yelling my name in the airport. Over here.
And Jamal make it look like he can't see me. It's like, no, I'm here, bro. I'm here. It's like, yeah. It's like he's talking on the phone. Even my neighbor once asked me, he's like, I swear to God, she came to me, she's like, can I buy your Prius? Like, you have all these cars. I said, I will never sell this Prius. I said, you can pick any one of these cars, you can buy two more. I will never get rid of this Prius, and I won't. You know, I have that emotional attachment to that car. You know, that's my baby. And I swear to God, I drove it like 2 days ago. You know, where we live, we have like a water park. I drove to the water park with it. They have nice cars, and, you know, like Look, I really don't care. You know, I think the beauty of things is like, I really don't care how people think of me as far as having nice cars so that's why I'm never gonna get rid of my Prius. And if you are looking at me right now, Prius, I love you.
It's crazy how much you love that car.
I do.
And I do think that's something, you know, you are an extremely humble guy, and I do love that about you as well. You know, it's never been about the money or having crazy things. And, you know, I love blessing you because it's just like, I know you won't do it for yourself, but I want you to know you deserve it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you've said that a lot, and I appreciate that, you know, I really do.
When you work fucking hard, you deserve everything everybody else does not have, okay? And that's one of those things where it's just like, a lot of people never experience those dark days, Reda, and they won't bring themselves to experience those dark days. They're not willing to go through those trials and tribulations.
Very true.
And I respect those people that aren't willing to go through those dark times, because I understand. And if I had the wherewithal to know what we would have went through to be able to come across the other side, it's like, I probably wouldn't have done that either. And I do think that's a problem that a lot of people have, Reda, personally, and something that really stops people from, you know, getting to that next level is they overthink things. And they overcomplicate things. And I've noticed, you know, you don't really do that. It's like, all right, if the logic of it makes sense where you can comprehend it and there's something that can be done there, I feel like you're a go for it. And it's something that can be done, and you don't really overthink things. And you're willing to go through the process of figuring things out through iteration, that I do think is super empowering. Like, can you speak to that a little bit, Reda, as far as like your perspective of those people that are overthinkers out there in society right now that just won't take that first step of action that's going to lead to something?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I always say that, you know, fear destroyed more dreams than failure did. And everybody blames failure. You know, oh, this guy, you know, started the business and he failed, and it's just a fear. And people don't want to take risks, right? I mean, like if you talk to any business person, you know, they will tell you that risk was a major thing that they had to do to be successful. And people, they just, you know, overanalyze things. Like, you know, it's like, I want to do, you know, sometimes people ask me like, hey, you know, like I want to be a business person. I'm like, all right, you want to be a businessman or a businesswoman? And what kind of business? I don't know. What do you mean? I don't know. Like, kind of, you have to have a vision. You have to have a plan, right? And you have to look at your strength and your weaknesses, and figure out, okay, these are the things I can do. Once you figure out the things that you can do, you can do them, right? So for me, I always believe that, my father used to tell me this, like, if one can, all can. If one person went to the moon, anybody can go to the moon if they work as hard as that person did, right? If somebody built a company and they made money, I can do that too. They have nothing more than I have, right? Or less than I have, unless I work harder than they do. I work as long as I put time on, as long as I learn and work hard. So most people fail because they don't want to take a risk. And they also fail because they want to win yesterday, right? When we plan for something, we plan for the next 5, 6, 7 years. We never say, when we bought that software company, we knew that we spent a lot of money, but we said, hey, AI is coming. And this was years ago, right? So we planned for the next 5, 6 years. Most people, they plan for tomorrow. Right? They want to start a business and then boom, tomorrow it's $5 million. Now let me go spend that money. That shit doesn't happen, right? And even way back when people used to say, hey, you can create an app and make money. Now, AI can make you 500 apps a day, right? So things have changed. I think that most people, going back to what you said, they just don't want to put a time, right? They don't want to figure out. They don't want to game plan, right? They don't want to have a strategy. They just want to have business and have money. And that shit doesn't work. I mean, I'm talking about 16 years with my brother here, and it wasn't yesterday. So we went through a lot of trials and tribulations, up and down like a roller coaster. And at one point, bam, we hit the ground, and then we came back up, right? Because we were always planning of what's next and what we have to do. And most people are lazy. To be honest with you, they're fucking lazy, right? They just want to make money. They don't want to have, a good life. And that's why you see most people, like, they act as influencers on Instagram and either selling their looks with all that bullshit, or, showing a guy with like a Lamborghini and a watch. When was the last time you saw Mark Zuckerberg driving a Lamborghini on the street and the guy can buy the Lamborghini company, right? When was the last time you saw Elon Musk, right, showing you their like Rolexes and APs and their cars? When was the last time you saw Jeff Bezos, right, showing you Cartier, Chanel? Rich people don't show you that they are rich because they don't give a fuck if you want to know if they are rich. They don't even care if you exist. They don't even care about the notion if you think what you think of them, because they're not even the same level. So every time you see these people try to push so hard to show you that they have money, they fucking don't have money. Because people who have money don't give a shit about showing you that they have money. It's the opposite. They don't want Uncle Sam to have money. Just be inspired by yourself. Don't look at all this bullshit that you see over the internet, right? Everybody's trying to sell in their soul, their bodies, their looks, which is bullshit. Figure out the business, work hard, game plan for the next 10 years, work as a motherfucker until you're dead, and then wake up and then work harder again, find the right partner like Jamal, and then make that money. Sorry about that.
And here's the thing, you guys, like, even if you are planning to build a business and you have a idea of what your next 10 years look like, understand that through those 10 years, that vision is going to change. Information is going to change. Opportunities are going to change. Like, be okay with things changing, and just be willing to adapt and iterate as fast as you possibly can, because that's really just going to be the needle mover for any business out there that's trying to scale or grow or being able to move to the next level. Just understand that it's a game of iteration, and you're always going to be iterating over and over and over again, but have a long-term vision as far as what you want to do ultimately. For me, Rita, like, I've always identified, like, I never always knew what we were going to do as much as I knew how we wanted to feel. And like, that feeling is our reception in the marketplace, the opinions and feedback from our peers, the ability for us to be able to communicate with literally anybody. Us being able to get opportunities to new deal flow or things that just aren't available to everybody. Like, those are the things that, like, I've always thought about. Hey, here are the things that I genuinely want to feel or I care about, and here's how we're going to be able to make them happen. Now,
And be inclusive too. I don't want to forget that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Be inclusive. Like we've never wanted to compete with anyone, and we have never been the guys who's gonna say, I'm gonna destroy this guy, I'm gonna destroy that. It's the opposite. I'll call the people and say, hey, let's work together. There is plenty of business for all of us. There's plenty of money. Work with me, I work with you, let's make money. That's why we are very different in the marketplace, because we have never given a chance to anybody to hate us. We're just good people.
but they do.
But it's
You guys-
they do because you're successful.
But here's the thing, Rita. Like, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I think that's okay, right? Like, the people that are with you are gonna be with you. People that are not, they're not for us, right?
That's very true.
And like, that's okay. Like, if you're watching this, you don't like me and Rita, we don't give a fuck, okay? Like, there's enough other people that do, that we do great business with, that we provide mutual value. Like, that's okay, right? We're not for everybody. And it's funny being out here in South Dakota, Rita, because it's like, maybe I'll be the first one to say this. There's not a lot of my kind out here, okay? You're a little bit more confusing.
100%. It happened yesterday.
You're confusing. They look at you and say, I don't know.
It happened yesterday. Me and Ron, we walked into a Pizza Hut. It was like 11 at night. And we were in South Dakota. And then we were driving for 20 minutes and we ended up in the state. Where was it, Ron? Nebraska. So we end up in Nebraska. And I walk into this store. And you go from the back door. Somehow we parked in the back parking, so we walked in. There is a dining place, so we walk to the front. There's a big counter, boxes and everything. And I look back and see this white girl making a pizza and another guy working with the oven. I swear to God, you can ask Ron. I'm like, hello. They looked back at me and they were shocked. I mean, I had my leather jacket, my glasses. I looked as cool as a motherfucker. It's like somebody came out from the movie, right? To Nebraska, right? So, is it Nebraska? Okay. So, which is a great state. I'm not saying anything. I want to make sure. Disclaimer, we love this state. We love the people of Nebraska. Let's make sure. So, they looked at me. I'm like, they said nothing. I swear to God, Ron is like, look how they're looking at you. I'm like, Ron, they're trying to process. Is this guy one of us? Is he half of us? Is he from past the border? And then the guy said, hi. I'm like, what time you guys closing your kitchen? And they both paused, look at me. Looking at Ron, I'm like, I said, hello. He said, why you want to know? I said, I want to know because maybe I can sit down and eat. But if you guys closed, I can leave. Yeah, you can eat. You can eat. I'm like, all right, sir, I appreciate you, man. I really do. So I went to sit down with Ron, and Ron is like, what happened? I said, Ron, they're confused. They are very confused. Like, am I white? Am I Hispanic? Am I across the border? Like, why? My long hair goes up like this. Like a long chin. Like Caesar, glasses. I looked cool like a motherfucker. You ask Ron, right? So and then this 9-year-old waiter comes in. Is like, hey y'all. I'm like, hey. I said, can I have a menu? Yeah. So he brought me the menu, and I'm like, I said, what state are we in? Because we were in South Dakota. He said, well, you're in Nebraska. I'm like, Nebraska? I look at Ron, I'm like, Ron, did we cross the border? And when the guy heard cross the border, he started thinking about some other borders. I said, no, we just crossed the border from South Dakota. I didn't know. And then the guy said, well, we don't we don't see a lot of your kind in here. I'm like, my kind? He said, are you European? I'm like, no, I'm not European. Are you crazy? He said, I've been here all my life. And then he started talking to me, and I was talking to him, but I killed him. I killed him with respect. Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. And he told me, he said, I really appreciate, I said, I know where you're from, but I really appreciate, how well-mannered you are. I said, how can I not if I'm in front of a gentleman like yours? So Ron was like, dude, you're fucking with his brain. Like, these guys, they're gonna like you now. No, I just had to pay and we had to leave. But that was, like Jamal was saying, going back to what he said, there is not a lot of him. I don't know how he said it.
What's something that you're extremely excited for, that you kind of want to get people, make people aware of, everybody that's listening right now?
Yeah, I think there are a few things, right? There are a lot of people that try to sell you an idea, right? Or try to sell you an idea of a business. Hey, let me teach you how you can do this, go buy my book. Hey, let me teach you how you can do this, watch my videos, right? Jamal and I, we don't give a fuck. We don't want you guys to do that because we don't have time to waste. But what Jamal and I know how to do is how to teach people how to become a broker in this industry and make millions. So our goal, Jamal and I, a year ago, actually 2 years ago, was like, hey, let's find this next millionaire as a broker. Let's find a broker who will work with us as a broker, and we want him to make $1 million. Not $1 million in revenue, not $1 million in sales, $1 million in income. We want him to make $1 million. And when we did that with Ozzy, which it was wonderful, right? And he's still doing a lot of business right now. I'm looking forward to teaching a lot of new people how to follow what we taught Ozzy, and have maybe 20 people making $1 million, or 100 people making $1 million, and that can be done. Remember what I said earlier? If you are a good listener, if one can, all can. And the second thing that I'm very, very excited is about, our heavily vested and invested EDM Nexus AI, our AI platform that does magical thing. Jamal, he worked with our team. He worked on it specifically. I wasn't much involved beside him telling me, hey, check this, what do you think? Because we always do that, right? We've never had a project where I'm okay, it's done, and then, we always work together. But we put together a training platform for salespeople in any industry that is out of this world. I cannot tell you how excited I am to present it to the marketplace, because you have done a tremendous job. You can have any company in the United States that wants their salespeople to be the best people in the world in selling. Nexus AI, that's like, it's a game changer.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out the training platform, it's edmtraining.ai is the link. Go ahead and check that out, you guys. It's actually a sales training agentic agent that allows you guys to create artificial consumer scenarios, where now, instead of you guys bringing on salespeople and have them trained by burning leads, now they're able to train with these artificial consumer scenarios where they can be able to understand what potential questions consumers are going to ask, and you can gauge how they actually respond to them and whether or not they're actually ready to be able to get on the phone and speak to consumers live. It's going to be a massive game changer, really help businesses save money is our first goal. It takes some money out of our pocket up front, but long term it's going to create much stickier business, because our advertisers will have way more proficient teams. They'll be trained much better. They'll know what to expect. They'll be guided on what to say in certain situations. I think it's going to be a game changer, Reda, for sure.
No, 100%. I'm very, very excited. 100%. You guys have done a tremendous job. And a lot of people get confused with AI, right? It's like, well, I can create this agentic AI, and not every AI is the same, right? So we've had millions of hours of records of sales, right? In so many different industries. And if I hire the sales team and I don't want to lose money on leads, right? Because the reason Jamal and I, we built this application is that, you don't want to hire people and let them learn right? And let them learn on leads, because you're paying a lot of money for these leads. How about, having them dial the phone number and talk to like regular, real people? Because when they call, it's not like it's a real people.
Yeah.
Give them objections, and then the system, will help you train these people better, right? It will show you, and very soon it will show you their strength, their weaknesses, their voice pitch. I promise it's gonna change the game. And then same thing with EDM AI, is that in a lot of people in especially in the insurance industry, where they need to get their retention better. So with the agentic AI that we'll be calling your clients and make sure that they stay in the book, and that's something that's gonna be a game changer as well. So those things are very, very exciting for me. And the third and the most exciting thing is that God willing, when you be blessed, with what God is going to give you, God willing, soon, it's just to be there and see it and grab it and hold it like it's my own. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if you want to tell the people.
Yeah.
Do?
I think it is public that I'm expecting.
Jamal is expecting the first baby in the family, and more than business, more than money, I cannot wait, God willing, that Erica will have beautiful baby girl. Just see her, like that's my brother's daughter, right? Like just there and see and hug and kiss, and I'm really looking forward to it.
No,
for me, that's gonna be big.
It's gonna be beautiful, Reda.
I'm gonna spoil the shit out of her. As a godfather, like whatever you tell her no, I'm gonna say yes. So get ready.
I don't think
I'm gonna make like a hidden credit card and send it to her and say, don't tell dad you're spending this money. I'm gonna move some our money, our fund, put it on her behalf, so like this, she's never gonna ask money. So I'm just sitting here right now. I hope he will forget. She'd be calling me at like 11 at night. Dad says I cannot do this. I'm like, fuck it, do it, go. Let me deal with it. She's like, yeah, but Uncle Reda, my dad, of course, not doing bad things or going with the guy or something. That ain't fucking gonna happen. But she wants something. Her friends are going to the beach, right? It's like, yeah, fuck it, go, but be careful. She's like, what have dad? I'll deal with that. And this guy will call me. I'm like, just like we did in business, Jamal, just deal with it. Figure out. But I'm really looking forward to it, because I know for a fact, and only then you will experience a love that you have never felt it existed.
I believe that.
Yeah, you can love your wife, you can love your parents, you can love God, you can love money, you can love a soccer game, you can love pizza, because love is a chemical reaction, right? Because love can turn into hate. How many people married each other, in love with each other, and then 10 years later they hated each other and divorced?
Yeah.
So love is just a chemical reaction, right? But this is different. This is not chemical. You cannot hate that person. Like it's not chemical. Like it's you. Like it's little you. What the? It's like unbelievable. I cannot wait for you to experience that. And God willing, when you're having the baby, I'll be there, Yeah, I'll be there just to make sure, they take care of her well. If not, I'll make some noise at that hospital. I'm looking forward to that, of course. Now, let me ask you a question before we close this. What are you most excited about you being a father? Excited to experience?
Probably the process of them developing and learning how the world works. Like, for me, I want to be overly transparent in a way where I don't want to lie to my kids. Like, shit's good, they're gonna know it's good. If it's bad, they're gonna know it's bad. If something didn't work, they're gonna know exactly what it is. And I had a conversation with my father about this not too long ago, where it's like, I worked in the business, and I feel like my dad really trained us to work in the business and have a strong work ethic, but he didn't teach us how to run the business. And I think that's something very different, where, I want to really give them the perspective of like how things work, what needs to get done, when it needs to get done, how it needs to get done, and make sure we keep that standard alive, where they can understand like more of how than, maybe not what, and, getting them to just, I want them to be curious, I want to raise curious minds, make them open-minded, make sure that they know that anything is possible, but at the core of everything, know that everything is earned, not given.
That's wonderful. Now let's talk a bit about emotional damage. So
Let's talk about emotional damage.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about emotional damage. Now, I know that you don't bullshit, which is good. Me, I bullshit a lot, which is good. So it balances us, right? Do you feel like you might have to change a little bit? Being afraid of any emotional damage? To be like a straight shooter, like say it the way it is? You gotta say it.
Yes.
All right, so let's say your daughter is a little bit loud.
Yeah.
And then her friends don't want to play with her. She asks you, Dad, why don't my friends want to play with me, even though they don't want to play with her because she's loud?
Yeah.
What would you tell her?
Your personality's too dominant, and you need to be shut up.
That's what you say. Emotional damage.
What's more emotionally damaging, Rita? I think is way more emotionally damaging to let somebody. It's kind of like the idea of somebody having a booger in their nose and you not telling them, clean your nose, right? And when everybody can see that around them and nobody wants to tell them the truth, like, that's a horrible feeling. And for me, it's like, I wouldn't be a good father or a friend if I did not tell you the truth. And if I care about you, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I disagree. As a child, let's go to the one with the booger, right? So if someone has a booger, I'm not gonna say, hey, you have a booger, clean it. I'm just gonna look at the person and say, hey, you remind me of me when I was young. I used to have boogers all the time. Can you do this clean up? So I'll make that person feel like I'm not telling you to clean that booger because you have it. You just reminded me of me. But I've had it too.
But you can make it more tasteful than that, than trying to make it about yourself.
Yeah, so I don't want her or him.
You don't have to say it like that. It's like, hey, clean your nose.
But
right?
It's bad because
how's that bad?
Well, I'm telling you, few people are watching, they understand what I'm saying. I'm trying not to make that person feel bad.
You understand what Rita's saying? You're a pussy. Okay.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't want to make that person feel bad or make them feel like they're doing something wrong. If there is an association of me doing the same thing, meaning, hey, I used to have that thing, just take it off, right? But with the kid, if my kid comes to me, if my son comes to me and says, Dad, my Jed plays rough sometimes. And he does, right? I taught him how to play rough. And sometimes at school they don't want to play with him. And he comes and asks me, why do these guys don't play with me? I don't tell him because you are rough.
Why not?
I'll tell you why. Because maybe they are the problem, not him. Because what I tell him, I said, bro, some people they don't like rough.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with it?
I'll tell him this though. Some people don't like rough. The problem is not you being rough when you play, is that you have to play with people who really appreciate roughness. You have to find the value of people, and people have to know about your value. I will never make him feel bad. I will tell him the truth if he does something bad.
But why does that have to make them feel bad? That's one thing I do want to train my daughter to have, which is self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
And I want her to be comfortable being alone, but also understand what it's like to be able to socialize and have a personality. And I think those things are important, right?
Yeah, words can destroy people.
I agree, words can destroy people.
And especially when they're young.
But, you got to be ready for the world, right? I don't personally think that bullying is that bad. Okay, to a certain extent,
Bullying or being bullied?
both, right?
It's not that bad.
Look, before y'all start ripping and
Jamal said bullying is not bad.
Hold on, before y'all start ripping and frying, right? The logic behind that though is it's that
I think if you're trying to say, like, if you get bullied, it's gonna teach you things on how to deal with them. And
you got.
I got you. Yeah,
you gotta know how to roll with the punches, right?
Yes.
And
I
not
understand.
everybody is going to like you, and that is the fucking world.
Yes.
That's the world. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna have some great things to say about you, and that's okay. You gotta know that you're a good person, and that's all that matters.
That's true.
And as long as you're a good person, like, the people that are meant for you will be in your life, and the people that aren't are gonna find their way out of it.
But the emotional thing always stays, right? When people say you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, that always stays with you. But you're gonna use that as a fuel, right? To look back and say, you know, I'm worth millions, so fuck you. You know, you stay broke, motherfucker. You can be handsome and looking good, but you're a broke motherfucker. So, you know, I'm sure that your daughter will be very beautiful, Jamal. You are beautiful in and out. Same thing for your wife. You know, I feel sorry for the boy who's gonna ask her to the dance, because he's gonna have an interview with you, and then if he passes, he's gonna have it with me. And that's not gonna be funny, because I'm the godfather, you know? I'll sit him down and say, what is your name again? It's like, Mr. Ahlouche, my name is Ronnie. Ronnie. Couldn't they pick a better fucking name for you? And he's like, no, because I want to see his personality, right? I want to see if he's strong. You know, Ronnie, you know? All right, so why you here again, Ronnie? Well, Mr. Ahlouche, I just wanna take so-and-so to the dance. To the dance. What qualities do you have to take her to the dance? Well, I am nice and I'm smart and I'm like, do you always comb your fucking hair like that? He's like, what's wrong with my hair? Have you seen it? It looks like a fucking rug. Because I want to see his personality. I want to see if he has stuff and he can fight back. If he starts crying, I tell him go home. If he looks at me, says nothing, maybe he's tough, right? And then I say, what color underwear do you have? I have to ask him tough questions, right? See if he cracks, right? He's like, SpongeBob. I'm like, so you're a SpongeBob, all right. How about socks? If he matches SpongeBob with SpongeBob, I got a problem. I got a problem. That date ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. So you might as well say Superman or Batman or something that has a fucking man on it. You know? I just want him to be a man, right? No SpongeBob, no Ipsy Tipsy, you know, not the Wiggles, like fucking man. So if he said Batman, that's different. So I said, look, we have to set up some terms here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some terms. So the rules are very simple. You kiss her, you touch her, you make her feel bad, or she cries, you're gonna have a problem. Do you understand? Yes, I do understand. So make sure you don't do that. Yes, all right. And then I pick up the phone, I call Ronnie. Ronnie comes in. He comes to my office, like big, right? I have like a security guy, he's big motherfucker. He's like, hey boss. I'm like, Ronnie, you gonna go with them to the dance? keep an eye on this guy. We have an agreement. And Donnie's like, so you ready to go now? Huh? Are you ready to go? I'm watching you. I'm looking at you. Now the kid is very fucking scared. And then I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm just bullshitting with you. Go have a wonderful time. You are a good-looking guy. You are a smart guy. You're a good guy. Come here, give me a huggy. I'll give the kid a hug. I say, go have a wonderful time. But remember, you know, you are the king and she's the princess, right? And she's the queen. You have to be very careful. You have to protect her. Okay? Can you protect her? He says, yes, sir. I'm like, all right. By the way, I just, rented you like a nice limousine, and then I rented you guys a helicopter, okay? So the limousine's gonna wait for you at this place, the helicopter's gonna pick you up, go have fun, and just let them go have fun. And then the next day your daughter will be like, oh, my uncle, you have done so much for everything, and then I'd be like, fuck, Jamal got involved and he canceled everything.
That's one hell of a vision, Reda. That's one hell of a vision.
Yeah.
Reda, thank you for blessing us with this time. Your wisdom, everything that you've shared has been absolutely impactful. If there's a final word you want to leave with everybody.
Of course, Jamal, I appreciate you. Same thing, I swear to God, same thing, your wisdom is beyond anything I've seen. Your ahead thinking, and it's beyond anything. Your loyalty, your brotherhood, your love. That's something I will always appreciate. And excuse me, just for the devil eyes, because we don't have a fucking devil eyes here. The last thing I would say is that I'm so glad I came. It was Jamal's call, Jamal's planning, and I just jumped in and I said yes, and I'm so glad I did. So from the bottom of my heart, you know that I love you. I don't have to say that, you know it. I really appreciate you putting this together, like, bring me back to earth and calm me down and say everything, everything can work itself out. Just come and close everything, no laptops, nothing. So I want to thank you for it, Jamal.
No, for sure, brother. And you guys, if you like what we did here, go ahead and like, comment, share, and we appreciate you guys taking the time watching this definitely different episode.
Very different.
A one-on-one with none other than Reda Ahlouche. So thank you, man.
And Mr. Jamal English. God bless you all.
Appreciate it, guys.
Much love.
Take care.